So today we won't be wasting your time with some nonsensical fluff piece about how awesome everything is all the time. I'm going to give you a fair and balanced review, so subscribe if you like this kind of thing. So diving right in, we're going to talk about what this TV does and does not offer. I'm going to start with what it does offer. So excellent brightness is going to be one of the things that you're going to benefit from, and I think probably more than any other aspect of this TV, you're going to really be impressed with the brightness. It is insanely bright. I highly recommend you check out my brightness video where I show that stuff off. It's well over 2300 nits, and in English that just means it is ridiculously bright, way more than even what's considered a normal bright TV. Now the next thing that is really good are the speakers. You have a subwoofer this year. TCL kind of held no punches with that, and it delivers excellent deep bass. Now it's not going to replace a traditional sound bar or sound system, but it'll definitely get you through in a small bedroom or smaller environment. So it's definitely perfect for those people who have like 1-bedroom places or maybe 2-bedroom places. Very nice touch there. Now, another thing that TCL got really correct this year is just the design and the aesthetic. It looks a lot like what we would find from a flagship Samsung TV in the way that it has the nice pedestal stand on the front. Now, unfortunately, you can't mount a soundbar underneath it, but it does give you a nice seamless look, and I think that look is kind of what we've been expecting at higher tiers. I mean, we're talking over $3,200, $5,000, and the list goes on with what we've seen design-wise. I think it's a very good choice. The remote this year with their ability to be backlit is really cool. I think that's another major win, and it's motion activated, a lot like what we saw on the A90J. So it's not like you have to press a button for it to work. It just works the moment you pick the remote up. And again, that's just ultra suave and it makes you feel like $1,000,000. Now, in terms of things that aren't so great, well, simply put, the TV does struggle with some vignetting, dirty screen effect type stuff. You'll have an issue maybe or maybe not depending on the panel lottery or basically how lucky you get with the luck of the draw, where you may or may not experience the defect I had where you get these weird LED abnormalities that'll happen where you'll have these black lines that'll show up out of nowhere. They can go away if you unplug the television, but if you do experience that, it is just kind of like an unfortunate thing. Now, continuing with things that aren't so great, TCL still has a processing issue, so they're not on the same level as, say, Sony with the cognitive processor, where you're going to be seeing every little minute detail. So you do have to scale those expectations a little bit, but in terms of motion, kind of continuing with good things, motion is probably one of the best I've ever seen on an LED, especially in modern times because they just don't try anymore. So this is a TV that's going to give you phenomenal motion. You've got all the bells and whistles. I mean, you've got 144 hertz, 120 hertz, and 60 hertz, all through various HDMI ports, which is really unique. I've never seen that before, but it is nice that they did that this year. Now, unfortunately, it is what it is in terms of just being not as versatile from a calibration perspective. Now, Sony's are typically better with that kind of thing. Sony and LG right now are the two dominant as far as if you want to be able to calibrate and get the most out of your television. Hisense is also in the ringer for that as well, because they have a different way of adjusting colors through something called HSL, hue, saturation, or luminance when you go into color management. Unfortunately, TCL adopts what Samsung does, which is called an RGB mixer, where you have to mix red, green, and blue to try to create certain colors, but you can't control the luminosity or the hues of them, and that really does hinder its ability to get accurate. So unfortunately, if you're one of those people that are a stickler for total accuracy, this TV, outside of reference accuracy, will not be able to achieve anything higher. Now, I say that because perceptual accuracy is a big part of how we watch TV. I don't care what a computer will tell you. If you look at a color and it looks wrong, well, it's going to be wrong. And unfortunately, the TV doesn't do very much to correct those issues, so just keep that in mind. Now, you can join for $5, and I've made settings to correct this as much as I can, and it does look pretty incredible. And again, roll the dice and you'll see what I'm all about. But either way, I did kind of give a little bit in the way of some tips as to what mode or preset rather to select to kind of avoid some of that. So definitely catch yourself up through the playlists and watch my other videos on this topic. Now, all in all, in terms of like the television, I mean, I think it's a good TV. I think a lot of people are going to be very happy with it. I think especially as the price goes down, it's going to be a no-brainer for a lot of people. But again, at the present, it is important to note that we still are waiting for Hisense to release their U8K. And that is said to be the next competitor to this TV. Now, how well it will compete, I don't actually know. But in terms of gaming and all the other features you can want, this TV is pretty much fully loaded. You don't really have to sit there and think about it too much. And it doesn't take a 30-minute video or 15-minute video to tell you as much. It's a good TV. It has some problems, but I think you'll be okay. Now, I want to round up the video by talking about the last and final thing, which are the black levels. The black levels are good. They're very solid, so you won't have any issues there. And the native contrast ratio is so good that even if you turn off local dimming, you're still going to have deep black levels, which is, when I say this is rare, it is like unicorn rare. It almost never happens, and it gets to a point where it's like all TVs are kind of trash because they'll give you a lot of local dimming zones on an IPS screen that has weak native contrast, and it looks really bad. So again, I can't tell you how big of a win this is for TCL. They did a very good job. It's not perfect. I definitely feel like the TCL S546 has more in the way of accuracy, and you know, some things kind of map a little better, but it's a good TV overall, and I think, again, a lot of people will be extraordinarily happy with the end result of this display. If you have questions pertaining to this TV and you want to know more, make sure you ask about this TV in the comments down below, or reach out on live streams Friday 7 p.m. through 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And don't forget to join and check out those settings, because I guarantee you're not going to want to miss out on a picture that's going to look as good as the one I've created for those settings. So if you have questions about that and all that good stuff, let me know. And thanks for watching the #1 brand in honesty. Until the next video, I'll see you guys later.